What's up, fight fans? Welcome to another weekly edition of Split Decision MMA, your weekly MMA podcast, brought to you by Sincaid Studios and My MMA News.
Talking to your mic.
Did both of them. You moved my mic.
I didn't know your mic. There you go.
I broke it.
You broke it.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Sorry, we're all wild up, and we just got done talking to Chris Leben, dude.
Leben, man.
Can you believe it? Chris Leben.
The Crippler. That was crazy. It was good. Good interview. We'll hope to have that up soon. Maybe Dennis will put a link somewhere in here or over here. I don't know.
Dude, it's
there'll be a link somewhere. We'll have a link.
It's so crazy when you talk to somebody so down to earth.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just like talking to one of your buddies, like, yeah, bro, let's go burn his house down.
What happened?
He never said he was going to burn anybody's house down, but I'm just saying that comes up a lot in the conversations that I have with people that I know.
And you would probably go help Chris? Anytime?
Oh,
Chris
I
was super
would.
down there.
Oh, yeah. Get in the car. Do you have any clothes you don't mind getting blood on? And nobody ever asks why. They're just like, no, we're good.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I got hydrogen peroxide in the trunk.
Anyway,
just a joke, people.
Not a whole lot of news going on this week. I mean, there's some news going on this week.
There's a lot of talking.
A lot of little things going on this week. We're not going to talk about big. There's one giant story, which will be towards the end before we get into some recaps and previews and some shows, because that's what we do.
We got one's a boomerang story. I don't know if it's actually new news or somebody just read an old story and now it's making front page again.
We'll see. Let's start off with the sad news.
Okay.
Got to start a little after the exciting news. We got to talk to Chris Leben. Sad news. A guy who Chris Leben was on the Ultimate Fighter with.
Oh, we never even asked him about that.
Ultimate Fighter cast number
it's hard.
one.
It's hard when we got everything just
Lodune
rolling.
Sincaid has died 1 month short of his 42nd birthday. Very, very sad to see Lodune Sincaid go. Lodune Sincaid, if you don't remember, he was on the Ultimate Fighter 1. He was fought in the WEC, fought in the UFC. Yeah. Sincaid had been living in Clearwater, Florida for several years, competing on the regional circuits. Retired in 2010. 15-9. Lodune Sincaid passed away.
Oh, do we know of what?
I don't.
Okay.
And I'm sure...
Yeah, it's probably not going to come out for a while. No further details or immediately.
Yeah,
okay.
But yeah. Sad to see him go. Ross Pearson, not dead, just retired.
Okay, now...
Ross Pearson has announced his retirement from MMA. 15 years. I loved Real Deal, man. I liked Real Deal Ross Pearson. Ross Pearson was on The Ultimate Fighter as well. I think it was in 2009. Season 9? Season 9. I think he actually won that season.
Right.
Yeah, so he posted on his official Instagram, after some hard talks, careful consideration with my family, friends, and team, I've decided to retire as an MMA fighter. It's hard as that is to say, it's not the end of my career as a competitor. So I wonder what he's going to say about that. I don't know where he's going next. But he says, I've always been a fighter. Right now, keep in mind of what's next for me. I'd like this time to thank everyone, including the UFC, for the past 10 years. Dana White, for seeing something in me and believing in me. To my family and teammates, my friends, your support has been endless, and I appreciate all of you. Goes on to thank his gym and his wife, of course, and his kids and his teammates, and all to his fans. Ross Pearson, no longer going to be fighting in MMA. Where do you think he goes?
I don't know. The way that I see it, the way I look at it through
By the way, retires 2016.
Yeah, I look through my Dakota ring. I think this is retirement from UFC.
I think he said MMA.
Okay.
He said MMA.
Okay.
I could see him do some bare knuckle, though.
Bare knuckle.
Dude, he's got some heavy hands, and he used to be a boxer before all this.
Submission underground. Nah.
I don't think he's much of a submission fighter. He's always been a nice stand-up guy, both personally and as a fighter. Moving on from there, someone who's decided he's not retired, Tito Ortiz.
Of course not.
Tito Ortiz has said, according to TMZ Sports,
as long as there's $1 to be made, Tito Ortiz is never fully retired.
He will be coming out of retirement and fighting at the end of this year, probably on October. He says, after I fought Chuck last year, I thought it was gonna be my last one. However, my body's intact. Everything is fast. Everything is great. Sparring's good. Training's great. So let's do another one for fun. Now, if you know Tito Ortiz in the history of MMA, Tito's going to come out with some sort of injury at some point if he loses. And or if he wins, he's going to say, I'm going to retire again because, my back's messed up. I've always had back issues.
Or maybe his foot. Maybe he has a foot issue.
We definitely know he's got a big head, so we don't know where that's going to go with that. You see that? That's the best picture I can find of Tito Ortiz.
That's pretty good. Him and his 7 head. Most people have a 4 head. He's got a 7 head.
Yeah, at least.
And I can say that because I got like a 5.5, 6 head.
Yeah, some strange news coming out now. And this
Did it involve Colonel Sanders? That was crazy.
a little thing going on. BJ's Penn estranged girlfriend has filed and granted a restraining order from him. Now, this is BJ Penn's girlfriend, mother of his children, and it's very, very strange, basically saying that there's been a sexual abuse and physical abuse allegations. I don't know. The statement said that he has not been, first of all, BJ Penn has not been charged or arrested with any crimes. But his estranged girlfriend filed their restraining order claiming verbal, physical, and sexual abuse that she's had for years. BJ Penn's team has come out and said this is a highly contested child custody case involving his two daughters. And the sad thing is, has been made serious allegations. The allegations are so misleading, hurtful, and false that any further comment by BJ or about BJ would cause more damage to the well-being of his children, potentially the future for the pending custody proceedings. BJ and his family ask that you please respect the privacy during this difficult time. Again, very, very strange, this situation. Not a whole lot going on. He is scheduled to fight at UFC 237. That is going down in Brazil.
Right.
May 11th against Clay Guida. We talked about that before. We don't know why BJ's fighting again. Anyway.
No, I'm just happy. Whatever.
Happy to see BJ fight?
No, I'm happy to say Guida fight somebody's not going to really give him a problem. But I on that note, and I'm not taking sides one way or the other, but being on many sides of separation issues like this, a lot of people come out with outlandish stuff at the beginning that ends up being sifted through, and it's just somebody being emotional a lot of the time. But many of the times, these people will come forward with the stuff, and judges will even ask them, so why are we only talking about it now? Where was so you didn't care about what was happening before?
Your well-being ahead of time?
Yeah. So why, I feared for my life. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what comes out of the BJ Penn case. Again, it's kind of strange, little troubling case to hear a lot of the things going on with MMA fighters recently. Shawne Merriman. Shawne Merriman was an LA Rams player, linebacker, right?
Right.
Yeah, 8 years in the NFL. Who's decided now? Remember, Shawne Merriman, Merriman was going to be fighting on World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation with Chris Leben, who we did an interview with earlier on the show. And he backed out. He said it seemed a little shady, seemed a little sketchy. He backed out of the whole deal.
Right.
But instead, he is now going to create his new own promotion, Lights Out Extreme Fighting. He is going to have an MMA promotion, and their first card is going to be May 11th in Burbank, California.
Pro, amateur?
It doesn't say. It just says he's launching his own promotion.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. I mean, why not? Oscar De La Hoya did it,
Do you remember when karate got like that around here? Like we were having karate tournaments like at the Kiwanis. It was just like everywhere. I think it was right after Ralph Macchio. And
you had the All Valley after the All Valley tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on from there, Manny Pacquiao has signed a contract with Rizin. That's pretty much all I can say about that. He's not fighting. For everyone reading this or, listening to this or who has read the thing, look into the details. Manny Pacquiao will be supporting another Filipino fighter, Fritz Alden Bigatan. And he's going to be fighting Mayweather's former opponent, Tenshin Nasukawa.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this will be a kickboxing bout at a catch weight. Pacquiao will not be fighting at Rizin 15, but he will be there to support this fighter.
And getting his feet wet with Rizin itself.
He's getting paid to be there, yes.
Right,
It is a paid appearance. However, there are rumors that this whole thing could lead to a fight with Manny Pacquiao and Takanori Gomi at a Rizin event in the future. How do you feel about that?
Has Dana White said this is not happening?
Gomi doesn't fight for him anymore.
No, I'm just saying. If Dana White says it's not happening,
it means it's going to happen.
I don't know. I mean, he's like the.
You got to reach out to Dana on Twitter and be like,
he's
Dana,
the Punxsutawney Phil of MMA.
His accuracy is about the same too.
Yeah. How about that early spring? Where's that? Where's that at?
I like that. He's the Punxsutawney Phil of MMA. I would like to see Pacquiao fight Gomi. Just saying. I don't care. I don't care if it's boxing or MMA or just striking or whatever you want. It could be bare knuckle. I'm getting into this bare knuckle thing, man.
Yeah?
I'm riding the train.
What about bare knuckle arm wrestling?
What? Aren't you already bare knuckle arm?
No,
wrestling?
but you know what I mean. You could punch the guy because I've seen it where they let him wear. They have combat
arm wrestling. Yeah. Didn't Art Davey try to start that? The guy who started the UFC. I'm pretty sure that was something he started. After watching chess boxing, he decided that arm wrestling boxing was the next big thing.
Yeah, when they started with the 25 and 30,000 vote shockers, we would do shocker arm wrestling until they got out of once they got the 50,000 and the million volts, we were done, bro. Started cooking each other.
Did you ever remember the one that you'd hold on to and it was like a Russian roulette and somebody got shocked?
Shocked. Oh yeah. We used to do the chains too, where everybody joins hands and you got one rectifier and then it's usually the last person to grab gets shocked and thrown to the ground. And you got to call emergency EMS and somebody's parents.
Conor McGregor keeping his name in the news every week. I feel like it's Conor McGregor keeping himself in the news. Conor McGregor making sure you know who he is. Conor McGregor, dumb shit he's done this year.
Well, I mean, like the fight in the bar, they were like, "How are we going to cover up what you did with the phone?" Oh, watch this. Let's start a bar fight.
Well, the thing with the phone, the video footage came out for that. Yeah. Did you see that?
Multiple angles now.
Multiple angles, yeah. That dude was not like in his face. He was a normal fan with everybody else.
Right.
He must have just said something he didn't like. Anyway, moving on from there. Conor McGregor says when a fan asked him, "What happened to your light on your foot in and out footwork against Khabib? You seemed very flat-footed, chin down, stalking, and shoulder rolling." And Conor McGregor's excuse says, "I broke my foot 3 weeks out from the bout. I still marched forward, however, and landed the final blows of the night on his blood brother. I am happy about how the contest went and lessons are learned. I'm in my fighting and, more importantly, my preparation. Time will reveal all." So,
hey, Booyah, how much were you paid to plant that question? It just seems to me like somebody told you to ask that question. And again, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying that that's what happened. But the way that he wrote that question up and the way that McGregor answered it, it looks like a setup. That's just my angle.
There's a fan trying to get after him and being like, "Hey, man, you look like shit."
Well, he didn't say that, though.
True. It's nicely worded.
He literally, he's like, "Look, I'm going to give you an out."
But usually, you use the nicely worded responses get better responses than if you're just like, "Hey, you look like shit." Then they're like, "Fuck you, troll," and they block you.
Yeah. Well, I think the original question was, "Hey, your foot looked broke. Was it broke?" And then Conor was going to go, "Yes." But then they were like, "Hey, this is a whole different thing that you need to do."
Back it up.
Backspace,
backspace.
And again, Booyah, I don't know you from Booyah, but I'm just saying it looked like it was a planted question.
Paulo Costa has been off and on with his fight coming up with Yoel Romero. I mean, I believe they've talked about this. How many times now? How many times have they talked about this now? This is the third time a proposed fight between Yoel Romero and Paulo Costa that this something has gone up. Now, Paulo Costa is out of his fight due to stomach medication. Yoel Romero says he thinks that Paulo Costa is doping. Usada has yet to reveal whether or not Paulo is under investigation or if any adverse comes to light other than stomach medication. We won't know because we know that they're going to say whatever they want to say. But yeah, Paulo Costa says he's out due to stomach medication.
Right. Well, so he already knows what they found, and I highly doubt that he would do a preemptive strike just to make himself look stupid. And again, that's not out of the realm of an MMA fighter to say something that's already going to be pointed in a total different direction later, but he knows what he's been tagged for. We don't know what he's been tagged for, and until he has his hearing, Usada's not going to tell anybody, right?
Yeah, well, speaking of those, we have two fighters now that have been flagged by Usada, the first one being Mairbek Tasimov. You remember Mairbek Tasimov? No, you don't.
If you brought up his fights, he'd be another one of those guys like, "Oh yeah, I remember that one."
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Mairbek Tasimov tested positive from a sample back in 2018 in September. Came back positive for stanzanol. Stanzanol is bound at all times. If you remember, they went through all of his further testing.
George Costanzanol
was found both in an open product he was taking and an unopened. So it was not listed as an ingredient. He is now going to have a retroactive suspension. He is going to have a 6-month suspension due to tainted supplements. However, UFC lightweight Azmat Mirzakhanov, not the same guy I was just talking about. I know there's a lot of vowels and consonants going on.
Yeah, I was going to say, was he flagged for having too many A's in his name?
He was tested positive back in 2017. 2017. He had a positive test for banned substance, anabolic agents, and out of competition.
That were actually
urine sample.
bigger than his name.
He was given a 2-year sanction retroactive. He can actually fight September of this year.
Bam.
Even though it's from 2017.
Let's get him on a card.
They said the delay in resolving his case was due to requests for additional time to investigate the source of the positive test. He has, again, accepted his 2-year sanction, so he will be able to fight this year, even though he hasn't fought since 2017 when he was first flagged. Pretty freaking crazy. Another man that has got a 2-year suspension from USADA. The biggest news of this past week that we need to talk about, TJ Dillashaw. We know he dropped his belt because he said there was adverse findings from USADA. The adverse findings are TJ Dillashaw got busted for EPO. That's a big one.
It's huge.
That's a big one.
It's a huge. He's another asterisk now.
EPO allows you basically to have more training time and more training. It's enriched blood and oxygen levels, is it not?
Yeah.
Do you not know what I don't fully know what EPO. I know a little bit about EPO.
I know what I've been reading about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I'm a poor athlete. We had Diana Ball. Winstrol,
yeah,
and some stuff we got that was supposed to be for horses. I don't know.
EPO, yeah, I like Joe Rogan's kind of thing. TJ's an amazing fighter, but fuck, man, to test positive for EPO in the Cejudo fight, you've got to think, if you're on EPO, how much time does it allow you to train? How much does it allow you to recover?
Obviously not enough.
What is the quantifiable benefit? It's pretty significant, and I almost want to try it.
Right.
He says Joe Rogan believes his whole legacy is completely tainted and gone.
Right.
His coaches, Dwayne Ludwig, stands behind him, says he is not the first, nor will he be the last, but yes, it is unexcusable. However, people make mistakes, and he's still my ninja.
Well, because you had Cruz who made mention to possible things he was using when they were slinging shit at each other. Yeah. You had Garbrandt who literally said EPO
on the Ultimate Fighter went after him, and then
right.
that whole thing split.
Yeah, I think the Diaz brothers told everybody.
They tell everybody's on steroids.
Everybody's on
steroids. His coaches, they have weighed in and said that it is 100% unexcusable. We will still stand beside. And hope that he can come back. That TJ has come to the relentless pressure of to win at any cost for the purposes of appeasing his employers, his fan base, providing for his family, and that's got to be a sentiment that we all can relate to.
And the sad thing here is, what if he's like Jones? What if he could have done all this without any of that?
Well,
we'll never know.
There's some things that are going on. So on Twitter, it was pretty... Overall, I would say it was pretty negative to everybody. Everyone announced...
Did you expect someone to be positive about this?
I'm just saying...
Hey, way to go with the EPO.
People went pretty hard, saying the most interesting thing is going to be Dwayne's reaction. We have people talking about his legacy, which was one of the best bantamweights of all time, has taken a huge hit. Again, two years. It's going to be a long time for him to sit out. Now, for all of you that are saying... 2 years, his career's over. 2 years, man.
No.
TJ's done. He can't recover from that. Just remember that in 2015, Chael Sonnen not only tested positive for EPO, but tested positive for HGH on the same fucking test.
Yeah.
And he's fighting the headliner at Madison Square Garden for Bellator this year.
Yeah, and not only that, before he got busted for EPO.
Not saying I agree with drugs, performance-enhancing drugs in...
But it's not a career. It's not a career killer.
Not a career killer, unless it's your third time, and then it's a career killer where they ban you for life.
Right. In America.
Yeah, here.
In America, because you can still go fight offshore, just off on the other
Cody
side.
Garbrandt immediately said, "I want you to test all of his samples." I bet for a
They said
fact
they can't take the ones out of the frozen locker.
that may pop up. He's a coward. TJ, when that suspension is up, you can call me scumbag. He says, "All of my losses." This is Cody Garbrandt. All of my losses have been from fighters who popped for PEDs. I stand this by when I say that I will always believe in myself. These are people who don't believe themselves. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, them all being from the same gym, do you think at some point they were all using EPO?
I like somebody had put up that I would like to see them, if he's getting a 2-year no longer sanctioned from the beginning. Like he cannot fight for 2 years.
Right.
Okay, they're saying 2 years forward. Why can we not go 2 years backwards and take away all his wins and make him no contests?
And then let him fight from today?
No. He still gets 2 years. No, listen. All of his wins get deleted. They go no contest. He's got a 2 year where he has to sit out. And that way, cheaters will stop cheating because they realize that they're going to get wins taken away, that they're going to get things. People went even further and said, why don't you take away the win money that they got? They can keep their show money, but because of the show win contract negotiations that they have with the UFC, they should take away their win money or even take away a percentage of their purse from the past year or 2 years, something along those lines, so that cheaters will stop doing this, because they're going to continue to do this if there's no repercussions. If the repercussions are, I can get a title fight with a big fat contract, I get caught, oh, well, I didn't win the title anyway. Guess what? I still get to keep all my contract money.
Right.
They're not tagging anybody with anything. They just say, you don't get to fight for the next 2 years.
Right.
Do you think they should have something like that?
I think it'd be hard to retroactive something that wasn't in. You can't put a charge on somebody for something that they didn't know that was possibly going to happen. You can make a new rule and say from this point forward, if that does happen, we can go back. But if it wasn't already something on the books, and then as crappy as that sounds, if that wasn't a threat to them at that point, it shouldn't be something that can happen to them.
I mean, here's Artem Lobov, 2 year ban, but he keeps all the money he made while cheating. That's not a punishment. That's a holiday.
I don't give a fuck what Artem Lobov says.
He's
I really
the GOAT,
don't,
man.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about it. He put on a show, but other than that. He gets slapped a lot.
I do think you need to remove the rewards of cheaters. I think you need to disincentivize the rewards of cheaters.
Get rid of John Jones.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Good. Get rid of John Jones.
But it's not going to happen.
Cancel Chael Sonnen's fight.
You need to disincentivize somehow because, again, you get guys that can sit out. Look at Brock Lesnar. Oh, I'm busted for 2 years. Cool. I'm going to go back to the WWE where I can make still millions of dollars.
Scratch Bonds, scratch Canseco.
And then I'll come back.
Scratch.
Hey, I'm not talking about baseball.
I'm talking all the way across the board. If you've ever cheated, you're out.
MMA.
Your name just gets deleted. Thanos. Gone. If you've ever cheated.
Just completely gone?
So then that takes the Raiders out from 1968 to 90.
No proof of that.
Wasn't it literally on the locker room wall? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying? Or maybe that's just something we said in Oakland back in those days. I don't know.
One championship had their Roots of Honor show today. I think it's still going on.
It's still happening. The last couple fights are still finishing up.
Still finishing up. But anyway, we had featherweight champ Martin Nugent go up against Yadama Nanarana. Wow. Featherweight champion on the board. Strawweight championship was on the line. Yosaka Saruda takes on Joshua Pacquiao. And the Flyweight Grand Prix quarterfinals going on. We have some kickboxing bouts. We have Muay Thai bouts. One championship, bringing it to MMA and being a top-rate promotion, I believe.
Does one championship, have they said how much their Grand Prix is for? Or is it, again, just suitcase of money?
I don't know. I don't think they're as suitcase of money as Dream and Ryzen and Pride, but they're flashy belts and things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Ask Ben Askren.
You get a black card from Subway?
Yeah. Those don't exist. They don't exist, and they come to find out they do.
Yeah, they do.
I was so
The
surprised.
black cards to many companies.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 5 happened last weekend out of Biloxi, Mississippi.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, this was a hell of a card.
I mean, let's start with our girl, Christine Faria.
Yeah.
She's from this area. She
wins the belt
Whew.
against Britton Hart.
And now she's calling out Rowdy Beck.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Wants the combined belts. Wants to be champ. I like that. Chris Leben gets the win. 25 seconds.
If you listen to our interview, you'll hear
apologize.
He'll correct.
I thought it was 27 seconds, Mr. Leben.
I told Brandon. I told Brandon it was 25. I got the video where I said 2.5.
I thought it was 27.
2.7. Either way.
He was like, it was 25. I was like, 25. Cool, 27.
And you know what? I'll just tell you a joke real quick. When we were at the lake, buoys say 5 miles an hour. My mom would scream at people, and she'd be like, "It's 5 miles an hour." And then I'm like, "You're telling them it's 10. Yeah. But anyway.
I had an employee today tell me, "Hey, so I need to change my schedule up. I want to go down to like 3 days a week." And I'm like, "That's 2. So which one is it?"
Oh, my thumb wasn't hanging out. That's what I'm used to.
Chris Leben gets the win, 25 seconds knockout against Justin Baseman. We did a great interview with him today. It will be up on everywhere, right?
Anywhere that we
everywhere
can
that
get
you
it.
can find us now.
Yeah.
You can find that interview.
Yeah.
Harris Stephenson defeated Caleb Harris and Artem Lobov in a war. 5 rounds against Jason Knight. Both these guys end up looking like a Chucky Cabbage Patch doll had a baby.
Did you have Artem winning?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I felt Knight came back in the 4th and 5th.
Okay, I could see that.
The third,
see a little bit of that.
The third is where it's questionable. I mean, the 1st and 2nd guaranteed is Artem, all Artem.
Also on this card, Isaac Villaflag again, which was great. It was great to see. Again, bare knuckle fighting. There was a little bit of controversy with this card.
Oh, is this going to be about the money?
Yes, this is.
I think it was a good scare tactic.
Yes and no. Okay, so the fight just before the main event, we had Harris Stevenson and Caleb Harris. Promoter and president David Feldman came out to the ring before the Artem fight and Jason Knight fight and basically said, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship is a brand new sport, a brand new company, and we're here for action. We want action. We demand action from the fighters, and we did not get action in that last fight because Rusty Crowder wanted to run. Therefore, I'm giving half of his purse to Reggie Barnett. Make some noise, Biloxi. This is how we do it in bare knuckle. You fight or you don't get paid. Immediately, the MMA world exploded. Half the time they weren't watching this promotion to begin with, but now that they were paying attention, it was one of the best uses of the Dana White, that's fucking illegal gift that I've ever seen in my life. Basically saying that one of the fighters was not going to get paid. That is not something you want to associate with your organization, as we've talked about with another organization.
Right. And again,
however,
that goes back to what I was just saying about going back and doing retro stuff to Dillashaw. If he didn't know that he could lose half his pay for what do they call it?
You're cheating.
Timidity. No. If this guy didn't know that half his purse was going to get taken away for timidity, then maybe he wouldn't have been so timid.
Here's the thing. It didn't get taken away.
Okay, it didn't.
It was a knee-jerk reaction for Feldman. He used the wrong set of words. He spoke to Eric Kowal of My MMA News. This story needs to get out there, too, because everybody is still reporting the story of him taking half the purse.
Right.
The real story is, he says, look, I'm just very passionate about the sport. He's like, these fighters get paid very, very well. All I ask is that they fight their hearts out. I tell them that this company, growth, depends on their performance. And at the time, I thought it was the right thing to do. I thought it was right, so that's what I did. However, I know that I can't do that. I did pay Rusty the full amount that he was contracted to pay. We had a talk, and he understands what I meant and what I was trying to say. It was a knee-jerk reaction because he didn't try to fight. That being said, we couldn't be happier with the results.
I'm glad he did it because it put something on the table. It put something on the table that needed to be talked about.
He wanted to light a fire under the fighters' asses to make sure that they are fighting. He's like, look, we don't do the show when pay sketch sort of situation like the UFC where you get paid to show up and you get paid to win. You have a possibility of winning it all, or you have a possibility of winning half. You get paid all at once. You get paid a big chunk. You get paid everything. You should be out there fighting like it doesn't matter.
Right. But I mean, in the reality, he is going to lose half his pay because they're not going to put him on another card.
He's not going to lose half his pay. He just might not get a bigger pay the next
He might.
time.
Well, if you don't get another whole check, you just lost half your pay.
No, you still get the pay from the first one.
Yeah, but you're not getting any more fights. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people were reporting about this story and how it was, I can't believe this. Oh, great, here we go, another shady organization. David Feldman and the Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Do not confuse them with the other bullshit reaction that Boss Root was attached to. This is a real organization that is doing very, very well and treats their fighters very well. Again, we talked to Chris Leben about the differences between fighting on both because he's one of the only competitors to fight on both. And
Dots destroys the studio.
I destroy the studio. Again, I think that this part of the story needs to get out there as well.
Yeah.
That he was not, half of his purse was not taken away.
Yeah, because
opponent.
Again, we have these social justice warriors in MMA now.
It was crazy, man.
And they want to be the forefront. I mean, they literally probably had the sticks and signs ready to go stand out front.
Well, like I said, we talked to Leben again about this. Is you got guys that are like, I can't believe how brutal it was. Like, I just can't believe it. Are you kidding me?
Where were they?
Watched Cyborg Santos' face get crushed in by MVP and have a Pokeball thrown at his face.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh.
Yeah. What about the years of pride? What about the first years of UFC?
Dude, Sakuraba lost his ear.
No mouthpieces. Bare knuckle, right? It wasn't even taped, right? A lot of these guys just...
Yeah, back in the day, they didn't have gloves.
And let's not forget the tough man competitions. Those were awesome.
They
gave us Butterbean.
Pretty good. UFC 236 goes down tomorrow on pay-per-view. We get regular fights on good old ESPN.
Really?
Prelims. And then the other prelims are on Fight Pass. Starting off at the bottom on Fight Pass, Brandon Davis going up against Randy Costa. Lauren Muller going against Pauliano Botelho. Montel Jackson against Andre Sukumath. Curtis Melander against Bilal Muhammad. Again, that's all on Fight Pass. A reason to keep your Fight Pass subscription. They're trying to still give you some fights. Over onto the regular ESPN prelim card. Boston Salmon going up against Khalid Tahaya. Max Griffin against Zelim Imadev.
Max needs a defined win. Do not let it go to the judges. You need a defined win. Get it.
I haven't even been moving this along.
I know.
Been so excited about the fights. Wilson Rise going up against Alexandra Pantoja. Jalen Turner going up against Matt Frevola. Again, all on ESPN. And then make sure you buy pay-per-view. And the only way you can buy this pay-per-view is if you subscribe to ESPN Plus. You can no longer buy it on any other form.
This sucks because now I'm at the mercy of somebody's internet speed. And God forbid their kids start gaming while we're watching the fight. Isn't that going to be awesome?
Yeah, kids, you're grounded.
No, I would literally ninja kick some kids if they start gaming while we're trying to watch the fight.
You just go and plug all their devices.
That's something. I'm so scared.
Main card, OSP over in St. Peru going up against Nikita Krylov. Who you got?
I'm taking Krylov.
I'm taking OSP.
Are you?
Yeah.
You can get the
Glock 19.
Okay, Glock 19.
Alan Jabon going up against Dwight Grant.
I'm gonna take Grant.
I'm gonna take Jabon.
I think I'm going everybody right except for Adesanya.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
Going right side. Okay, we got Eric Anders against Khalil Roundtree Jr. Which Khalil's going to show up though? Eric Anders, man, tough guy.
Yeah. I think kicking the shit out of you, Roundtree's going to show up.
Do you think so?
Yeah, he's going to chop him down like a tree. Hopefully, I'm hoping.
Co-main event for the interim middleweight championship. Right?
Come on, Kelvin!
Kelvin Gastelum Staffneck going up against Israel, the Stylebender Adesanya.
Come on.
I got Stylebender, man.
Stylebender's perpetrating a fraud.
Only been knocked out one time in his career.
Well, it's going to be 2 after this weekend.
Kevin Gastelum is not knocking out Stylebender.
Okay,
I'll make that bet.
No?
I'll make that bet. He will not get knocked out. If he
I'm not
loses,
making any
it's
bets.
decision.
Nope, I'm not making any bets. This isn't college football. That's the only thing I bet on.
And, of course, for your interim lightweight championship, because 2 interim belts have to have this card, Max Holloway against Dustin Poirier.
I'm taking Dustin.
Yeah?
Yeah. For the upset.
I like Holloway, man. Holloway says he will make sure he goes back. He is not giving up his 145-pound belt. He will be a guy to defend both. After winning this one, he will see who's next at 145 and defend it immediately.
Yep.
I'm taking Max Holloway.
Apparently, we've gone to 1 frame per second.
Oh.
Somebody started gaming.
Damn it! Damn it! This is what we have to look forward to. Anyway, that is your week of news, your week of rumors, your week of recaps and previews, and of course, your week of an interview.
Yeah.
With Chris Leben, the crippler, called into the studio.
Yeah, fantastic. Click on it. It should be in front of us maybe right now.
Like in this area.
Or in the next 10 seconds.
In this, he'll put it here. There'll be a thing.
Right here? I'll put it right here.
Right here?
Click on this Leben interview.
Thing.
Okay.
Right there. Anyway, yeah. As always, we are coming to you from the SinCal studios here in the 209. We like to represent My MMA News. They do this every single day. We do this once a week. Get a lot of our stories from there, so we are just recapping a lot of shit that you don't.
Yeah, like we told you earlier, you hear all this knee-jerk reaction stuff. If you ever have any questions what's going on in the MMA world, just type it in, mymmanews.com. Go through the list of stories. They cover just about everything that's out there. Even if it's something
and regional.
Yeah, even if it's something that they didn't put out, but it might answer your MMA question. Eric Kowal and his people make sure that it's out there. They might not be first, but they're going to have the clear and what you need to know.
Yeah, clear and concise.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can always check out shirtsicle.com/SGMMA and pick yourself up a Fight Night and Chill shirt just in time for the fights.
You can.
Pick one up. Go over there. You also have our Pride Style shirt. We have our regular SD shirt. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it this week. So let's see what goes on next week.
Never know.
Stylebenders, not getting knocked over.
Okay.
Have a good night. We'll see you at the fight.
Maybe.